Welcome to the Fight Card Podcast. From news, reviews, and interviews, follow up.
Hello, everybody. Spidey here, the Fight Card Podcast, once again, being joined by Rainn Guerrero. How are you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Mario? I'm doing good. Just chilling, waking up, like I was saying. I'm trying to get it together.
No. I was gonna say it's been a while. I mean, I know I follow you on social media. I mean, the last time we spoke, I believe it was your, I think it was your pro debut. Actually, it's been a few years. So
yeah, it's been a minute. What was that in? Let me see. I debuted in 2019.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm bad in math, but yeah, it's about 4 fingers ago.
Yeah, something like that.
But of course, I mean, from San Antonio, now living and fighting out of Houston. When it comes to San Antonio, I mean, of course, you still have family out here, correct?
Yeah, of course. I go out there often. Like I plan to the weekend after my fight, plan to go out there and see everybody. They always ask about me and stuff out there at the baseball field. My dad is out there coaching and managing, baseball out there and stuff like that. And they just called me yesterday. He just called me on Facebook Messenger, and it was like a whole bunch of guys that were like, when are you gonna come? When are you gonna come? Like all the baseball guys out there. So yeah, I still got like a lot of family out there. I need to go out there, but I stay away from San Antonio when I'm getting ready for fights. Yeah. Too much partying. So,
No,
but yeah,
sure.
I got a date San Antonio weekend after my fight.
And I was gonna say it's better after the fight, that way you can come out here and eat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Have a margarita or 3.
There you go. A little celebration. And of course, I mean, we're going to be leading up to this fight. It is going to be for a bantamweight title. But I mean, backtracking a little bit before we get into all that, when it started training, I mean, I know for the most part, for yourself, it was just to get in shape, to stay in shape. I mean, what was the whole reason behind doing it?
Yeah, that's kind of the thought. For me starting kickboxing, it was like a beginner cardio kickboxing class. The thought behind it was for me to lose weight, right? I had got up to like 235 at one point. And so that was the idea, right? I was going to lose weight, because I knew I couldn't lose it just going to like Planet Fitness or something, get on the treadmill. Like I had to like do something. So that was the thought behind it, to lose weight. And then it just kind of escalated there. They peer pressured me to put a gi on. Started that whole thing. And then one day I stayed after jiu-jitsu and I see them staying on the mat. I'm like, what class is this? Like, oh, it's MMA. Why don't you stay? I'm like, what? Girls could do this? It was I didn't even know girls could fight at the time.
No, you see, and that's wild because, I mean, it wasn't long ago that even Dana White wasn't, he wasn't all for having women in the UFC. And
that wasn't that long ago that he said that women would never fight in the UFC. That wasn't long at all. And then
no, you see, and people forget because I mean, when you first started, like you said, it was when I first started training in MMA, I mean, there was like no women, it was all men, and as soon as a female would step in, everybody scared them off. It was just wild, because everybody was brutal. We're out to training, but I mean, times have changed, and of course, when it comes to women competitors, I mean, boxing, judo, they've been everywhere. It was just late as far as like mixed martial arts, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I love WAR, because we have such a big girls team, and we got girls from all over Texas coming on Saturdays, come train with us throughout the week and stuff. So that was one of like the key things of me making the move to Houston, was the girls that were available. Because in San Antonio, I spent like the first 4 or 5 years never sparring a girl or never having like a female training partner in MMA, right? I had them in jiu-jitsu, but not MMA. So it took like 4 or 5 years before I got my first girl to like train with and spar with. And then, I was like, what? And then coming to WAR, cross training over here, I met like, it was like at the time it was like 4 or 5 of them. I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I moved over here. As the years, it's just more and more and more. We got like a lot of girls now.
But let me ask you, because of course, when you guys sparred, I mean, even like you said earlier, when you sparred men, at the beginning, did you feel like they took it easy on you, or they just laying it on you, man?
It depends. It depends on who it was. A little bit of both. You'll get that's the funny thing about training with guys, right? Is that you'll get like, especially the smaller guys, right? 25ers and 35ers, they'll really put it on you, right? Because they're like kind of more your size and stuff. But they're still men, so they still hit harder, right? So you kind of get into this like, man, did like if you win a round or something, you're like, oh man, he let me do that. Oh, he was taking it easy on me. But then it's like, then you get beat. You're like, oh well, would a girl do that to me? Did he do that just because he's a guy? So you never really get like a accurate gauge on yourself when you go with guys, because there's always in the back of your head like, did they take it easy, or like, or am I getting my ass beat because they are a man? It's like you never know. So
See, and the reason I asked that was because when you finally started training with women in MMA, I mean, was it like, were they hitting you for real though? I mean, did you kind of take a while before you kind of like, okay, you know what, I can actually hit back like hard or harder?
No, not really. When I first met the girls at War, they were laying it on me, so it was never like oh, what do I do here? It was just like oh, okay.
Like, welcome to Houston, right?
Yeah.
Man, and of course, I mean, throughout the years, you stayed competitive, you stayed active. You actually had an opportunity, and you went to the Contender Series.
Yeah.
It didn't go your way,
yeah.
but right after that, you bounced back, and you actually took on a pretty, I would say, on paper, probably the biggest fight
in
your career, and that was against Pearl Gonzalez. So, I mean, after that loss, was it bittersweet in a way? I mean, were you kind of like, okay, you know what, I got that out of my way now?
It was. Yeah, it was just one of those things, right? It was kind of my opponent for Contenders, she was a 4-day notice switch. She was a specialist, and I think at the time going into that, I think I let like the nerves and the pressure and stuff like that kind of like gets me, because I had a brain fart in that fight, right? I was like, I'm fighting this this double black belt, right? Judo and jiu-jitsu fucking Olympian, right? And it's like we go to the ground and I'm like down there with her. I should have let her stand up. It's kind of one of those like low IQ kind of egotistic moment of me just being down there with a girl that I should have just fight IQ. Hey, like stand up, like catch these hands. So like losing that, right? And just it was kind of one of the things I just had to accept, like, hey, maybe I wasn't ready. The pressure was too much and stuff like that at the time. Maybe I wasn't ready. So it's kind of one of those things I just had to like lick my wounds and just keep, just bounce back and stuff like that. And then when I fought Pearl, when I had the opportunity for that, that was like a 3-week notice thing. So I really didn't have too much time to prepare for her. I just had to make sure my lungs could go and, just kind of get in there with her. So that was like a huge win. More so just taking the pressure off myself, just like I didn't care what happened. I was just there to fight. So that was, I think, one of my best performances, just, like mentally, right? I just kind of just like, fuck it. I don't care what happens. Let's just fight, and then that was like a kind of, like a free kind of thing, just like taking all that weight off of you. So that was a huge thing. But yeah, now this one is like, I feel like winning this title, here soon puts me right back in the talks to get back in Contender this year, or even take a short notice for the UFC. So, it just is what it is. I lost Contenders. It was like it was a huge fucking thing, but yeah, it's just whatever, it happens. I'm going to get back on though. I know it.
No, for sure. And I was going to say too, because for the most part, when a lot of fighters go to Contenders, a lot of them don't, they go straight to the UFC. Like you mentioned earlier, I mean, there's always opportunities, fighters get injured, then need a last minute replacement. I mean, was you going into this full time kind of because of that, or was it because of the whole fight game?
I kind of actually can't, because I always knew that like it was coming, right? It's just a scary thing to do, right? And you're like, man, I still got real bills. Like it sounds nice, right? It sounds nice to train full time, but if you don't have a fight and you don't have sponsors really wanting to invest in you like that, in your in between time, that's what gets scary about it. So it was something that I wanted to do for a long time, and it was a goal of mine. But I kind of got into a situation at my job where they kind of put me in a choose type thing, right? Basically. So it just put me in the fork in the road, and I was like, hey, like, I'm gonna fight. You guys knew this, you guys knew this from day one when you hired me. You knew what I was doing, and you knew what my goal was, and so just kind of one of the things. Like I think I was there for like 2 years or something. So it was kind of one of those things where we both went as far as we could with me fighting and stuff, and we just both kind of came to that fork. So it's just one of those things. So I just Yeah, I just took the leap of faith. I put my 2 weeks in, and then I took a trip out to Denver to start my camp to help JJ Aldridge out there at high altitude. Me and Lauren Murphy actually coordinated the whole thing. It was super fun. Me and a couple girls from Warren went out there, so that was how I kickstarted my camp. So it was like a cool thing. It was like I put my 2 weeks in, boom, I was done. Right, I was done that Friday, turning my stuff. That next week, I was out in Denver, like living, full-time fighter life. It was cool. It was
And then
fun.
coming back home to bills, right? That's
Yeah,
how it
exactly.
works.
But I mean, luckily, right, I do have good sponsors, right, that
Yes.
have supported me for a lot of years now, my camp and stuff like that. So when I kind of got them on board, I'm like, hey, look, like, let's get this title. I'm gonna, I don't know, I don't know what I'm gonna do after this fight. We'll see, But I got a good support system, so I definitely got through this camp. So now I'm just like, hey, so what's next, right? I'm hoping to fight soon after this one, but we'll see. We just focus on this one right now.
No, for sure. You see, and this one's actually going to be for XKO, one of the longest running promotions here in Texas. You've actually fought for them before.
Yeah. They're the only promotion that I've like returned to and fought for multiple times. Every other fight, amateur and pro, have just been like one and done, and then they'll never go back, right?
And let me ask you, I mean, and I had noticed that, and I mean, what's the reason for it? I mean, obviously, great promotion, but I mean, is it just the feel? I mean, what is it about Arlington that you keep going back?
You know, a lot of the fights that I've had, the one-offs, right? They brought me in to lose to their hometowns, right? So a lot of that, so that's the reason why for a lot of the one and dones, right? They just got brought out there to lose, didn't lose, and then hey, like it never got caught back. But with XKO, they really go above and beyond to find matchups, right? It's hard. So I've had like Fury out looking for me. I've had just multiple promotions out here, in the South region and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of them just kind of ask, look on scroll typology, ask the first 2, 3, like, oh no, they're not gonna fight, can't fight anybody, But I feel like XKO is like really does the digging and really goes above and beyond and finds people, So I really attest to like their matchmakers. Yeah.
No, and I was going to say too, because the one thing I always liked about them was that they kind of stayed on their own. They have their own live feed, they have their own setup. I mean, the platform it's an actual, instead of the hexagon or an octagon shape, it's actually a square, like a boxing ring.
Yeah. And I love XKO because they are very like they're family oriented, right? They actually care about their fighters. We're not just strippers and they're the pimps, right? How these other promotions, be treating us sometimes and stuff. They really care about their fighters and everything. And so that's one thing that also like I always feel like at home there, everyone knows your name, everyone's like knows your family, everyone's like, and it's actually like the promoters and the matchmakers and announcers and stuff like that. They actually like give two fucks. So that's why I love them. They're my favorite.
You see, and that's true. I mean, that was one of the biggest things. I mean, I've been in this sport for years. When I first started training myself in jiu-jitsu and MMA, it was like 1999. I mean, I went through a lot of promotions. There was a lot of fly-by nights. Some that would pop up. You never hear from them again. But the ones that stuck around, I was always like, man, you know what? Like they want to sell tickets, but at the same time, they don't want to promote you. They don't want to promote the fighters. They don't want to promote. And I get it. From the prelims all the way to the main events, the biggest names, of course, are usually up top. But yeah, throw you guys something, because I mean, it's like, you guys are out there to perform and entertain, but at the same time, you're trying to get your name out, so why not do a little promo? Why not promote you guys a little bit more,
Yeah, exactly.
Now, of course, I mean, I had this photo that I actually used earlier, but tell us about this beautiful creature right here.
That's Gypsy Poo. Gypsy, come here, mama. Come here. Somebody wants you to say hi to you. You being a little brat. Come here. So this is Gypsy.
There you go.
Hey, Gyps.
And I actually, I was gonna say, actually, I have to have them on Instagram. So I'm a fan. I'm a follower. So of course,
you follow
Gypsy.
Yes, she is the love of my life. She comes to all my practices. She'll be coming to weigh-ins with me on this one too. She's my little support animal, except I think it's a mutual thing. I think we need to support each other.
And of course, for the weigh-ins, you're not going to be holding the dog, right? I mean, you're gonna,
No. I'll pass
you
it real
know,
quick, weigh in, and then give it back.
there you go. But yeah, I mean, of course, the reason I was asking about that because I mean, I do, have them on Instagram as well. But I mean, when it comes to your nickname, because when you first started, it was at the beginning, it was like the bully, and it was
Yeah.
more because of the dog.
Yeah,
You know,
I had three pits at the time, and that was kind of just like a name that just like happened at the gym, right? It was just like me sparring with the guys fighting for my life, right? And they're like, "Man, it's a bully," So it's kind of something that stuff. But I had three pits at the time, and so when I got her, my pits they were older and stuff like that. So one passed, one had cancer and stuff, and so she's actually the last one standing, but yeah, over the years, it was just kind of like the negative connotation of bullies. Like, you know what I mean? Just kind of over the years, we just grew out of it, I guess. And then also me as a fighter too, I don't fight like that anymore. So, I mean, maybe a little bit, but I think over the years, we just kind of like evolve and stuff. And like now, I don't know. It's like, I have so many names. Like, I don't even know what is even my fight name. I don't even know. Cause it's like whatever era of my life you met me, like that's what my fight name is to you. It's like some people still call me the bully, some people call me Purple Rain. The latest we did was like Raindrop, right? I guess been my Instagram name forever. Like since I first got Instagram, right? When did that start? I don't know. But so I don't know. And Tapology actually made my name Raindrop, but like I never said that. Like Typology just did that out of nowhere, and like I never said that, but it was like on Instagram. So I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, and I was gonna say they probably just followed you, and you were like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's it."
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. What is my fight name? Who knows?
Man, of course. I mean, this fight, like we mentioned, it is going to be March 21st. It's on a Friday. I mean, a lot of times I always ask fighters because other promotions, they're on different streams, so they got to find certain days, whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Does it matter to you like what day you fight?
No, I prefer to fight on a Friday, so I have the rest of the weekend.
You see, and I was gonna say, since you're not working anymore, is that still kind of like, I still need my weekend off?
Yeah, for sure. Because I love Saturdays. I love Saturdays. They're my favorite days. Like UFC is always on Saturdays. Like it's my favorite day. Yeah. So as you mentioned, like I'm not working right now, right? So this is the first time in my career that I've put like I'm doing this full time. The whole what is this like my 10th year of training now? The whole time I've been training and fighting, I've always worked full time, like 9 to 5. So I would do like my cardio before work, and then get like 3 to 4 hours of training at night, and just be like and I just did that like my whole life. And like so this is the first time that I'm like, oh shit, I can nap between training. Like I can get 2 days now. I can go to pro practice in the morning and nap and go in the afternoon. I'm just like, dang, this is crazy. This is what you guys been doing this whole time. Like I have time to like rest and hydrate, and like it's crazy.
And I was gonna say too, because I mean, we had daylight savings this past Sunday. I had no idea. Like my body, I think it was Friday night where I was like, damn. I mean, I'm old, but I mean, it was like it's gonna be 8 o'clock, and I was like, damn, I'm freaking tired already, And it's just the Saturday, the same thing, and it's just Sunday, it was like daylight savings. So I'm like, crap, I don't know if my body was just getting ready for it, but with you, I mean, you have a dog. I have 3 dogs here, so. Even if it's Saturday, they still wake up at 4:30. That's the time we wake up during the week. So it's like, I mean, I look over and I'm like, dude, there's no work today, buddy. Like, go back to bed, And
Right.
But what about Gypsy's time? I mean, as far as what time does she normally get up?
She doesn't. She's a princess. She'll sleep all day. Like she only like I have to force her to go outside, right? She don't want to go outside. So I have to literally, especially if it's raining or if it's cold or something, forget it. She's running right back inside. I literally have to force her. So like she doesn't wake me up. She'll freaking stay in bed like all day if I let her, like, and then like go sneak off and like try to like pee in the corner or something. Like if I don't get up, like, or she won't like wake me up to do it. Like, so I have to be the one to like set structure because she won't do it. But the only thing that she has a clock for is getting ready to go to the gym. She knows when it's about like 9 o'clock and stuff. So she'll like go by the door and like look at her leash and like just stand there and look, and she'll be ready to go. Like she'll know like by the time to go to training. But yeah, to go to the restroom, no, she's not waking up. I have to wake her up.
You see, and I was gonna say too, because well, I mean, for the dog, I mean, it's been living the full-time life. I mean, doesn't go to work, so of course, get used to sleeping in and waking up late, right?
Yeah, exactly. So she checks in. She's really good at the gym. So like she's there every day. I don't gotta put her on a leash or nothing. I just give her her bed and she'll just stay there the whole time. She won't get
Oh,
up. And she knows like when it's the end of practice versus in between rounds. So like in between the round, like the bell rings, right? In between rounds, and she'll just stay in her bed. But she knows like by everyone like body language and stuff and how we all act when it's practice over, then she'll get up and get on the mat and like go talk to everyone and make her rounds and stuff. She's very smart. She's a good gym. I say that she's my coach because she's there at all my practices.
Oh yeah, I mean, no doubt, man. I mean, as long as you get it to start holding mitts, you'll be set.
Right.
Now, of course, I mean, XKO, like I mentioned, I mean, they do go back years back. Actually, the first time I had them on there, it was before the whole Facebook thing blew up. It was MySpace, and I had them on back then. And I think it was the dad at one point that was running it, the promotion as well, and it was the two sons, of course. But yeah, they've been around forever. So the fact that they're still around and still a platform for fighters, to get on.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty
exactly,
amazing.
exactly. And I really like them because they don't like try to build a roster and lock everyone down in a 4-fight deal. That's also what I really like about them and stuff. And so, like I said, they're really just like they're for the fighters, like and I think that's also the reason why they've been in business so long is just because like they take care of people and they're genuine people. So it's like good karma comes back too. So
No,
I love them. I'm super excited. And Texas Live is like literally my favorite place to fight. Like my favorite place to like go, period. And like when my friends fight, like, my boy Anthony Ivy, he won his XKO title there and he won and stuff like that. So like I just love Texas Live. It's like the best place ever.
No, for sure. And I was gonna say that too, because when it comes to I mean, you actually staying in Houston, I mean, for years, it's been a go-to. There's a lot of great gyms out there. So of course, from San Antonio, Austin, I mean, even Corpus, a lot of people do cross train and head out there to Houston.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, I mean, I'm from San Antonio, so it was always like, even when I first, started Texas fighting, I mean, I supported local, but I was like, hey, you know what, it's a sport, man, the best men or women win. But at the same time, it was always like, I always felt like it was San Antonio versus everybody. But I think it's Houston versus Texas, man. I mean, when it comes to the fight game, because not to say people hate on Houston, but it's just like more competitive because they know like, hey, if we can do good against somebody from Houston, like,
yeah,
have to level up,
Yeah, I think Texas MMA in general, I think we need to cross train with each other more. Because one thing that I've noticed kind of over the years, Texas fighters, we don't always have the best success when we go to the next level. When we go to the UFC, a lot of us have gotten chewed up and spit back out. Me being one of them, trying to get on contenders, right? Like, and I've seen it just a lot. I could go down a list, right, over the years, right? Just Texas in general, not just San Antonio, Houston, all of us. And so I feel like that comes from us kind of being divided and keeping in our own little pockets and being against each other. And I feel like we would just cross train more and not have so much of that. I think Texas fighters in general would do better when we get to the UFC. Of course we got like our, not everyone, just gets chewed up and spit out, but over the years, a lot of us have. And so I think that's one thing which is one thing that we're actually doing at War, more, especially with the girls, is inviting more girls, right, from other gyms and stuff like that out in Texas. So we have a lot of girls from, let's see, we got Austin coming out. We got Willow from like Canada that's going to move out here. And we got people from far. San Antonio girls came out, Colleen. Girls. So that's one thing that we're really trying to push for too, is to get the girls. Like I said, it's a big focus for us, honestly, as our girls team.
No, you see, that's something that actually I brought up before, because when I first started, I mean, of course, there was different teams. I think at one point there was like maybe three MMA teams here in San Antonio. And it was, and everybody kind of stuck to their own. It wasn't until like years later, when I had actually started 210 Fight Gear and I started sponsoring different fighters from different camps, and so they kind of mingled, and before you knew it, a lot of them were cross training, and it was wild. I'm not gonna say I'm the one that planted that, but it was like they kind of felt like all these years, like they've literally never talked to that other person or that other fighter that I had, so they were kind of like, oh, hey, what's up, and
oh, hey,
it's like
you're kind of cool.
I know, no kidding, so I mean that was like one of the best things for me was seeing that here in San Antonio, little by little, just cross training,
Yeah.
going to different gyms. I mean, I know when it comes to the whole gi, a lot of people frown on it, but when it comes to MMA, that's a whole different animal. That's like, you know what, you have to go out there and cross train and
Yeah.
get beat up by somebody else. You know, you don't
Yeah.
plateau and keep growing.
Yeah, I always say that San Antonio, if you want to be a world champion in jiu-jitsu, go to San Antonio.
No, yeah, you see, and I mean, it's been growing. You know, that's one of the
Yeah.
things because even like back then, you know, a lot of the fighters, like the amateur fighters that were around when I was doing the whole social media, you know, they're all gym owners. You know, they're
Yeah.
out fighting outside the state. I mean, they've grown, and I'm kind of like, damn, you know, that's pretty cool. I'm proud. You know, I'm proud you guys are still at it. You know, doing
Yeah.
something for it. So
That is cool, right? Like Ray Rodriguez,
yeah,
having you out there, right? Seeing his transition from, the local fighter to making it, to the big leagues, to then transitioning to coaching and having a school and everything. It's crazy. It's crazy to see.
no, because I mean, you had mentioned the whole cross training team because I know at one point he's cross trained with people he's lost to. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's kind of like him being humble, knowing like, hey, well, you know what? You know, you got to
Yeah.
improve. You know, you got to go out there and mix it up with different styles,
Yeah.
different people, different levels. You know, there are levels to this thing. So of course, you know. And earlier you had mentioned women are invited to go out there. So I mean, what can they expect if when they show up out there to the gym? I mean, of course, getting punched, but what else?
Yeah, I mean getting punched, but I think our girls are really like friendly, like it's not an egotistic mean girls type situation, right? Like, oh, there's a new girl in here, let's beat her ass, or it's not clicked up and stuff like that. It's like it's like the guys always make fun of us because they're like, oh, girl power, but it's like that's really how we like, because they're always making fun of us. We always take pictures and stuff like that, but yeah, it's just expect like just all around pleasant, good vibes, good
No.
vibes, good experience. Yeah, because we'll out of each other, but then take a cute picture after.
No, there you go. And I was going to say too. I mean, when it comes to, I mean, it's obviously for sparring, right? So that they got to show up with their own gloves, mouthpiece, and everything else.
Oh yeah. Well, we do drilling for an hour and then we spar for an hour. So
Damn. Okay.
yeah, so if they just want to spar, come at 11. But if you want to get work in, come at 10.
Nice, nice. And of course, this is an open invite to whoever can make it out there, right? Houston.
Yeah. To any girl that want to come. Any guys got to ask Adam. I don't know. But any girls, you're cool.
Now, of course, I mean, full time, you know. So now, I mean, like you said, you get to rest up, you get to sleep a little, rehydrate.
Yeah, it's
what's
crazy. I love
your
it.
what's that?
I said I love it. I love it here.
No, I mean, yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, that's actually, it's I've always talked to people, and even now, like I tell them, I said, man, imagine if you didn't have to work 40 plus hours a week and get to train and fight. I mean, that's that's a dream. That's a nice something good to look forward to, because
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. I'm really grateful. It's only been, for this camp and stuff. So it's been what, like a couple weeks or whatever. But so far so good. I'm having time of my life. I love it. I mean, I'm way more sore. Right, all this time is like I'm training more, so I'm like, oh shit, my body hurts. But yeah, no, this is the life for me. I'm really grateful, and I'm really having like a good time. And like when I have the times, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm tired. I don't want to train. I just think about like, you quit your job for this. You quit your
and of
job to
course,
do this. Go ahead, get up.
you see, when it comes to recovery, because when do you train too? I mean, you fight on the 21st, so when's your last day of actual sparring?
Tomorrow.
Okay. So I mean, is this the rest of the time just concentrate on the as far as I mean, what is it that you do? Just recover, hydrate.
Yeah, recover and weight cut really. So I just work on cardio, just hit mids, get on the treadmill, light flowing and stuff. Just things to keep my cardio and get the weight off, but no real hard contact, hard sparring. Yeah, that's tomorrow. I'm gonna get Shark Tanked in the morning. So I'm gonna have 5 rounds, fresh body every time. So that'll be my last Shark Tank. It's my worst part of the camp, but be my last one. And then so I got that in the morning. I know Lauren Murphy's gonna come out there. Brittany Cloudy's gonna come out there and help me. Then of course we got the girls at the gym already. Willow, Mia, Alex, and stuff. So I got plenty of girls to could give me that work. So in the morning's my last hard day, and then the rest of the time just focus on weight cut and recovery.
Man, now let me ask you: when it comes to being there, I mean, because of course your teammates, you know, they compete as well. So I mean, is it kind of like they help you out, and I mean, you got to repay the favor, right? I mean, when it comes
Yeah,
to
exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you're just always in the gym for your teammates, then you'll find yourself always at the gym.
no, yeah, I was gonna say, so there's no really any time off, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're all in camp and we all stay in camp. So, there's never really a time off. They're there for you, you're there for them. And then next thing you know, you've been in the gym like every day of your whole life.
And of course, let me ask you, because one of your teammates was actually fought here in San Antonio a few weeks back, Alex, and she did freaking phenomenal, man. So, I mean, when she won, I mean, I don't want to say you were surprised, but I mean, were you kind of like, okay, you know what, like, did you expect
Absolutely not surprised. I mean, I knew she was going to do that.
that?
I actually thought she was going to get it with the head kick. That's what I thought. But looking back at like her camp and how many overhands she hit me with, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But I really thought she was gonna head kick her. She's really good, man. She's good. I think at this point I'm like telling her like she's a sandbagger, right? You need to go pro already, right? She's has nothing else to prove at the amateurs. So I'm really proud of her, but was not surprised in the least. I mean, the way that girl trains, the way that she is in the gym, the way that she is outside the gym, there was no way she was losing that fight. And I knew it was gonna be clean too. She has like she's one of like the fastest, most athletic girls that I've probably ever come across training like in all the years, right? She's freaking good, man. She's good. And I think over this last year, I think mentally it clicked for her too.
Yeah.
She I was like, oh wait, I am fucking good, right? And kind of like, and it clicked for her and stuff like that. So it was really beautiful to see her kind of put all together and put that girl out like that. And I like the other Alex, she's from San Antonio and everything. And I've watched her come up and everything and watched her fight plenty of my teammates. I don't even know how many teammates at War Girls that she's fought. I can't even keep. I think she's fought everyone. I don't even remember. But I like Alex too, man. Yeah. And I'm always rooting for San Antonio girls. Livia out there barely. I like her too. I'm always rooting for San Antonio girls. But unfortunately, I did know that my Alex was going to win that one.
No,
but
sure.
we invited them out to train too. Alex and Livy from San Antonio. We invited them, but I think they're kind of, I don't know, they got some bumps and bruises right now, so they're gonna take another week or two to come. Yeah, but they should be coming out here too.
Nice, man. You see, and that's kind of what it takes. I mean, I know for me, I mean, being the media guy, it happens so much where two competitors that are fighting. I mean, I know them both, and I gotta watch them beat the hell out of each other, and I'm like, damn, and that's like the worst thing in the world. But I'm like, they signed the contract, so yeah, they got to make it happen. But
yeah, you fight long enough, and that's gonna happen every card.
Oh yes, yeah, especially regional. It's I think for the most part, I know here, for years, like when it came to the amateur fighters, I mean, it was always. I don't think people. I don't know. Maybe they did. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't like at everybody's gym, but I don't think the amateurs cross train as much as the pros. Because once you go pro, it's kind of like, okay, hey, we gotta help each other to make it outside the state, and it kind of clicks. Now on your Alex, like you mentioned earlier, her composure, man, like going in there, I was like, man, she looked ready. I was like, I knew it was going to be exciting. I knew it was going to be, so I knew somebody was going to win. I mean, as far as like her going in there, and as soon as she started throwing, I was like, damn, man, like pinpoint accuracy. There was no holding back. Like she didn't like hold back on her punches, and
she looked good. Everything she threw was with intent, and she had very, very smart strike selection. I was just really impressed. What was it, like a minute? It was a minute. I told her that she won that fight when the other Alex shot a takedown, and then she just kind of stepped it from distance. I was like, oh, bro, you won the fight right then. Like,
no, yeah, I think, I mean, she had hurt her at that point, so I mean, it was just like a shot of just trying to get what she could get. But
exactly. So I was super impressed with that. I was like, man, I told her, I was like, I can only hope to one day have a performance as clean as that. Like,
now let me ask you, because on what you mentioned earlier, like you telling her like did it finally click for her to be like, damn, I am that good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's kind of like the next level up? I mean, when you're a competitor, that you're finally like, okay, you know what, like I am that good. So you decide to go pro and just keep going.
Yeah, because I think everyone kind of goes in the cycle of when we're amateurs, we have this blind confidence, right? We don't know shit, but for some reason we're so fucking confident, and we go out there, we do you know, the little bit that we know, we do it with full heart, right? Full, you know, we do it to the best of our abilities. And I think as we go on and we learn more, we kind of realize that there's so much we don't know, and it kind of like that confidence, right? It's like our skill goes up, but our confidence, right? And then you kind of come back to full circle and you're just like, oh no, hold on, no, I am that good. And then you get your confidence back. You kind of, and then you start to do the things you know how to do, you know, wholeheartedly. And you know, it was, for me at least, it was full circle. But talking to fighters and stuff, I think it's a natural thing that I think we all kind of go through it, right?
No,
So
for sure. Yeah, you know, because
yeah,
that's
I think for her that happened this last year. I think that click for her of having like that, she's learning a lot, but then she's like less confident, and then it clicks. She was like, oh no, wait, hold on.
you see, and that too, because when it comes to the mental toughness, I mean, people talk about, you know, getting ready and doing, you know, striking, getting physically ready, but the mental toughness, you know, it's like a 50-50. I mean, you can't just go in there thinking, okay, well, I've been training, but if you're not mentally focused, if you're not like, you know, put through that grind, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's a whole different thing. And you know, when it comes to you, I mean, let me ask you, I mean, as a competitor, you know, when does that click? I mean, when does that hit to where, like, I know you said like Friday's going to be your last day, right? For
For
sparring
sparring tomorrow.
tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So when, I mean, is by tomorrow? Are you thinking, okay, like this is it? Like I'm ready, like physically, mentally, I'm ready. I mean, I know you still got to cut weight. That's still a whole different animal. I mean, you still got to go and you know. But I mean, is by tomorrow? Are you going to be content? Are you going to be like, okay, like this is
Yeah.
it? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already felt that like my last Shark Tank, right? Like the last one I
okay,
had, and I was already feeling like that, right? I judge my readiness by like how I can push through the tiredness, right? So the fourth and fifth round, like how I was able to push through those rounds, and then also how fast it takes me to recover in the minute. So if I can get my heart rate down in 30 seconds, and then have the other 30 seconds to listen, and you know, and I'm like, okay, I'm good, because I know I'm out of shape if it takes me like 45 seconds to get there. I'm like, okay, hold on, you know, but about 30 seconds, I can get my heart rate down. I'm like, okay, like I'm good, I'm ready to go. So I'm already there. I already felt that, and yeah, you know, I'm ready. I'm excited for this last Shark Tank tomorrow, because I feel like my last one I was very like, what do you say it, like not timid, but started to counter strike more because I was tired. And tomorrow, I really want to focus on still being first and still pushing even when I'm tired. And you know what I mean? So I'm excited for that. That's the one thing that I was like, no, I got to fix that part. I got to keep pushing. So I'm excited for that part. But no, I feel ready. I'm healthy. I'm ready. I'm in shape. You know.
no, I mean, we can't wait. You know, I mean, when it comes to fight night, it is going to be on Friday, like we mentioned, March 21st. You know, XKO fight night. You know, but let me ask you, family. I mean, of course, you know, when you first did this, I mean, what was mom's reaction, and has it changed every fight? Is she thinking, okay, this is
Yeah.
her last one?
Yeah, my mom at first, I mean, naturally she was like scared, right? Doesn't want me to get hurt and stuff like that. My dad didn't really take it serious, or didn't really know like what I was even talking about or what I was even doing until I had my first amateur fight. Then he was like, "Oh shit, this is real," because I had been training for what, like 2 or 3 years up until that point, right? And he didn't really ever like pay it no mind, or just he thought I was just like playing around and stuff. So when I first had my first fight, right, he was like, "Oh shit, you're for real." But my mom has never stopped being like, I wouldn't say scared. She's just, you know, she's just a mom. But
Oh yeah.
I would say my dad probably had the biggest 180 of like not even caring about it to being like the number one number one fan.
No, you see, and then like you said, I mean, you know, the fact that he's out there at the baseball field and everybody's rooting for you, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, how nice is it going to be for you to come visit home and have a title over your shoulder?
It'll be super cool, man. I brought a belt home as an Emmy before, so that was fire when I came back for that. So now coming back as a pro with the belt, it's gonna be dope. I can't wait. Yeah, everyone's excited. I'm ready to just get it over with, because I'm trying to eat some crawfish, get my belt, and you know it's too much sodium for me right now. I can't afford that. Can't afford that fucking water that I'll hold if I ate that. So I'm really ready to get this belt so I can get my 5 pounds.
There you go. There you go. Well, definitely, man. We're
1
gonna be
pound for
rooting
every
for
round.
you. Man, and of course, I mean, without giving anything away, what have you already prepared for your opponent? I mean, do you know much about her? I mean, did you look her up or your team?
Yeah, of course. Shanna Gomez. She's I would say she's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a good snatch single. She has a good double. She's a good timing on it. She likes to put girls on their back and kind of ground and pound her. So I would say she's a wrestler. She's very strong. But yeah, I mean, we prepared. I mean, it's more so getting me ready, right? Getting me ready and what I'm gonna do and stuff like that. And but yeah, no, she's a what am I trying to say? She's sizable. She's big. She's a big girl. She's very strong. So definitely pushed my cardio for this camp and made sure that I was able to go at that strength and combat that strength and do it for 5 rounds, right? Because you can be strong for a round, can you be strong for all 5? And so that's what I was really focusing on and for this one and stuff. But yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm definitely not taking her lightly. Definitely, she's 2-1, but that doesn't mean shit. She's hungry. She was a title holder too as an Emmy. I think she went undefeated as an Emmy. So just because she's, at the beginning of her career as a pro, I definitely don't take her lightly, and I'm expecting a war. Always prepared for that. So,
no, for sure. You see, and with that being said, because of course, I mean, you've already, you made it to the Contender Series. You fought Pearl Gonzalez. I mean, you have more, I would say, to lose than she does. I mean, when it comes to the fight record, I mean, is that? Are you worried about that, or is this just a fight? Are you kind of like, okay,
no, it's just a fight. It's just a fight. I mean, I don't think there's any more or less pressure on any fight, really, other than the UFC cameras being in your face. But other than that, I think every fight is the biggest fight of my career. Every fight has a lot of pressure. Every fight I need to win. There's never a time where it's like, oh, if I lose this, it'll be okay. Like that's never the case. So it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, on paper, it's she has a lot to gain from this, right? And it's like, oh, if she loses, oh, you're supposed to lose, I guess. But if she wins, it's like a big upset. Like that's just the case for like everybody. I feel like, you know what I mean? It's like my last fight with Pearl. That was the case with that. You know what I mean? It was like she, the same thing. So no, it's whatever. It's the same amount of pressure to win.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, and the fact that your team's been getting you ready. I mean, you've been getting those rounds in. I mean, other than your team, and of course, you can definitely name them. But who else has been helping you for this fight?
So I have like Lauren Murphy, of course. She cross trains with us. I love her so much. She's like one of my favorite people. Like I said, we went out there to Denver. So JJ Aldridge got some work out there with her and her team. Like I mentioned before, Brittany Cloudy is coming over. She's at, where is she at? I forget. Is she mainstream? I forget. I'm sorry. I forget her gym that she's at, but because I just love her individually. So, and then of course my team and stuff. Let's see who else we got training out there. Yeah, it's basically it. We just got girls coming in and giving me rounds. But I would say Lauren and Brittany have been like my main ones outside of, Willow and Mia and Alex and stuff. Sandy, of course. Sandy's been putting the work on me. God, her grappling's getting so good. She has been putting it on me, fucking Sandy. So yeah, no, but I would say Brittany and Lauren are probably the biggest ones that are coming out and helping me with my rounds and stuff. Because they're strong, right? Because I'm going up to 35, right? My last couple have been at 25, did a couple of 30, 130 catch weight. So coming up to 35 and fighting like a 235, where I'm like, all right, who are the strongest girls I know?
Man,
Brittany and Lauren, come here.
I know, right? Throw them both at you and be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to ask you about that earlier because you did get to go and train in Denver. Was that the first time going out there?
Yeah, it was my first time. I mean, I've been in Denver once, like as a kid, to play softball, right? Did a college exposure tournament out there, but to actually go out there and train, like, yeah, it was the first time. It was cool. It was cool. It was snowing when we went over there, so I didn't like that. But no, I liked it. The high altitude. They had a crazy cool coaches. There was a lot of people there. I got to see Justin Gaethje train. Got to like say hi to Corey Sandhagen. It was like cool as fuck. And then I saw my homie Alex Fernandez. He's in the UFC. The great, yeah. I seen him out there, so that was cool as fuck. Got to see my homie Josh Rosen. Got to see RJ out there. Casper, he was out there. So yeah, I saw a bunch of people like I knew from Texas and everything, and then I got to see like a couple stars and stuff. So seeing Gaethje in person, that was crazy. I've never really fangirled before until like I was like, oh shit.
How big is the dude? I mean, did you get to stand next to him? I mean, as far as height, like size, is he
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
big guy?
he's a big white guy. Yeah, we made eye contact. Yeah, he looked at me.
Yeah.
We had
So
a
he's probably
connection.
sizing you up. He's like, man, what's this?
Yeah, right. No, he's a big white guy. Yeah, he's pretty big.
No, yeah, because I seen him, next to other fighters, and I'm like, damn, that's a big boy, man. Like,
Yeah, no, he is. He
that's a
is
lot of
big.
weight.
Yeah, I
And I,
was actually surprised. I mean, I didn't ever think he was small, but I did like when I saw him in person. I was like, damn, you are pretty big. Yeah.
man, let me ask you, as far as the altitude, I mean, did you notice that when you were out there training?
Yeah, it more noticed like I would get really tired after like a round versus like one round felt like three. But but it was like that was probably like I got tired faster. But it didn't feel like I was more tired. It didn't feel like I couldn't breathe. It just felt like I got tired faster. That was it. Yeah.
No, because I always wonder, because I mean, people talk about that and the whole altitude training, and I kind of figured. I mean, I've been out there to Denver like twice, and yeah, it's like climbing up a hill or something. You're like, damn, it starts sucking.
Damn. Yeah.
No, of course. I mean, that was pretty cool, man. And I forgotten Alex was out there too, man. So that was pretty cool that you got to see some familiar faces and just Texas in
Yeah.
general. So
Yeah, that's why I love fighting. It's like yeah, you can go anywhere and like see people and stuff like that. I love fighting.
no,
But yeah, it
yeah,
was cool as fuck. I had fun. I was only out there for like 5 days and stuff, but I got really good training in. Like learned a lot of like little gems and stuff. It's cool training with other people and seeing like their ideologies and their how they go about stuff. Like I know we had like a very opposing ideologies with the double on the cage.
yeah.
We go up, they go down. So it was like it was crazy thing because they both work. They're both like so it was cool. It was really cool getting that perspective and seeing everything out there. But yeah, JJ's good, man. I was really proud of her. Really proud of her for her last fight because with Andrea Lee, she looked sharp, man. But yeah, she was like super cool. That was my first time meeting her and stuff like that. But I was super proud of her. She looked really good, so sharp, so sharp. So I was proud to be a part of her camp and help her get that win. That was cool.
No, yeah, and I was gonna say, that's more opportunities, because I mean they know people. I mean, it's just I mean, when it comes to the sport, I mean, I know your name's up there when it comes to the UFC and everybody else. So it's just a matter of them hearing them again and say, hey, you know what happened to that fighter?
Yeah. So
now, of course,
back there soon.
Yeah, no, for sure. And man, I want to thank you. Thank you for jumping on this, taking a few minutes to talk to me, and come fight night. I'm gonna be rooting for you. I did want to ask you though, because I know you do have sponsors, but I mean, do you also, for people out there that want to help out? I mean, how can they go about doing that?
Yeah, if anyone wants to help out and support me, like I said, I'm full time right now, so of course any support helps. You can always DM me on Instagram, and then also I have a link in my bio to Morphine Essentials website, and we have my official fight shirt that's out. So if you guys want to go and purchase one of my fight shirts, all of the proceeds will go to me. So, but either way, or you can just DM me, either way. But yeah, Instagram will be probably the best way to get in touch with me.
No, and I was gonna say too, because I'm sure the proceeds will go towards Gypsy as well, right? Dog food.
Of course. Actually, they go to her first. I just get whatever's left over.
There you go. And I was gonna bring that up because people talk about the price of eggs, and I'm like, the dog food's been going up like freaking triple. I got 3 dogs, and I'm like,
oh man,
get a part-time job just to feed those suckers now.
For real, she eats Blue Buffalo, so she's bougie. She got the she got the high end food, but then I also give her I have to meal prep for the dogs because my roommate has a dog. And so I get like either ground turkey or like chicken thighs and stuff, and I'll air fry them or like whatever, and then I'll like chop them up, and they have their own meal prep. So I mix that with the dry food, and because Gypsy, she won't eat just dry kibble. She has to have some sort of protein.
Some wet food, and I think I made the mistake of doing that, and now it's like if I just give them dry food, they just look at me like, "Where's the rest?"
Yeah, like what's wrong with you? Like, get trash out of my face. Yeah, exactly. Even I don't know if you feed your dogs or if you've even seen them like the refrigerated dog foods, right? It's like logs and the refrigerated ones. Well, even those, like I have to warm that up for her because she won't eat it cold.
No, yeah, I've actually had to do that like a few times because the same thing. They smell it and they look at me and I'm like, bro, and I go nuke it, bring it back out, and they start eating, and I'm like, damn, I don't even eat that good, so I'm definitely jealous.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm trying to get on Gypsy's diet plan because she is good. She does.
No, but man, thank you for jumping on this. Like I mentioned, man, I mean, I wish you the best of luck. Come fight night. I hope everything goes your way.
Thank you.
You have a great camp and get through. Come back to San Antonio afterwards and bring that.
Yeah, you should come out to the baseball field the weekend.
There you go. I probably will, man. I'm gonna keep posted on that. But don't hang up yet, Rainn. Everybody out there, of course, once again, this is Spida, DeFi Car Podcast. Till next time.